Hello! Hey y'all, how are you doing? Welcome to the next installment of my sci-fi novel, Chasing the Unseen, Chapter 21. Remember that all of these readings that I have on the playlist for this novel are from the zero draft. So there will be a lot of changes to the final copy when I publish the book at the end of the year. So let's just go and jump right into it. Chapter 21. There was no car crash. Kiera Sutton, POV. Walking into the living room, two detectives were there waiting for me. The taller of the two was standing, looking out of the picture frame window towards the dock at my dad's personal boats, which he was currently working on. The other sat looking studious at his notebook in his hand. "How can I help you?" I asked, unsure of how to start the conversation with a couple of people who thought you killed your sister. "Hello, Miss Sutton. I'm Detective Rollins, and this is my partner, Detective North. We wanted to ask you a few questions about your sister's death." There was no sorry for your loss or condolences. No, he had gone straight to business. "Of course. How can I help you?" I asked as Tabby and I sat on the sofa. "Can you run me through the sequence of events for that night?" Rollins asked. "Of course. My sister was supposed to pick me up. She was late, so I had a friend pick me up and bring me home. However, she was late for curfew, so my friend just dropped me off at the bridge and I walked back. When I came into view of the house and close to the docks, I saw Kelsey, and then there was an explosion and everything went blank after that. I woke up at the hospital." "Were you mad at your sister for forgetting to pick you up?" North asked, not turning back from the window, still looking out at the dock. "Let me cut to the chase for you, detectives. I did not kill my sister. I love her." "Let me cut to the chase for you then, Miss Sutton. You and your father have not been cleared as suspects." "My father? He was out of town." "He was out of town when your mother disappeared too. Isn't that kind of convenient?" "My mother didn't disappear. She died in a car crash." "No, she didn't. I know what you've been told, but much like your sister, your mother disappeared and was never seen again." I looked at Tabby. "Your dad didn't want you or your sister to think she abandoned you. We made up the car crash story to keep you safe." "I see." Thinking to myself, that would have been good information to have before. I thought aimlessly as Tabby held my hand. "Miss Sutton, where were you and your husband again at the night in question?" We were celebrating our anniversary. We were up at our cabin in Mount Fala." "And your husband was with you the entire time?" "Yes. My husband is a good man who loves his family. He's a pillar in this community." "We're aware of that. When we wanted to bring Miss Sutton in for questioning, we received a call from the governor's and state senator's office." Rollins gave an odd smile, as if he was put out by Dad's connections. North finally turned to face me. "Kiera, do you know that you had a similar breakdown when your mother disappeared? Just like the one you had when Kelsey disappeared. You went on and on about monsters killing her." "That was due to the trauma," I rebutted. "Funny you should use that word, trauma. Did you know that children who see one parent killing the other, or a sibling for that matter, will have a delusion of a monster killing their loved one to deal with the parent they love being a murderer?" "I think it's time for you gentlemen to leave," Tabby said as she stood and stepped in front of me. The detectives walked to the door where Lucas was raising his hand to knock as she opened it. He looked confused as North turned back to me and looked. "We'll be in touch, Miss Sutton." "What was that?" Lucas asked as he walked past Tabby and straight to me. "Things have been strained between us since Victor's arrival, but I needed his strength." I bolted over the coffee table and ran into his arms. "They think Dad killed Kelsey and that I had something to do with it. We have to save my dad." I didn't care for myself, only my dad. "Kiki, all this will be fine. We're going to get Kelsey." Tabby was trying to soothe me, but she had once again lied to me. "How could you let me go through life thinking my mother died in a car crash on the way to pick up Kelsey from school? You were so young and so traumatized. We thought it'd be best. And when you found out all this, I just forgot. Yeah, I guess so. Hard to keep up with all the lies you've told me over the years, I snapped. Lucas was still holding me. Kiera, come with me, let's talk. We'll talk it all over. Lucas, what do I do? Look, they don't have solid evidence, or they would have already arrested you and your dad. We'll get Kelsey back. The Galactic Confederation will send someone to wipe their memories, and all this will go away. Why can't they come now? Well, they consider this a human affair. They will only become involved once we have Kelsey back. What if I tell my father everything? Will they come then? That's too risky, Kiera. It could be viewed as a break in the treaty, and you would need your grandfather's backing and the support of the royal courts. Best scenario, they would wipe your dad's memory, and that would still leave the problem with the police. Is there such a thing as safe harbor on Ezeron? You mean like a sanctuary city? Yes, exactly that. There is one place like that, but not on Ezeron. It's on our moon, Luria. When we go get Kelsey, could we take Dad there so I'll at least know he's safe? If we're gone for a week, it'd be like 2.5 weeks here. He'll worry, and if Tabby and I are gone, the police will undoubtedly arrest him. Okay, we'll make a plan. What if you and Tabby and your dad go on a vacation? You go somewhere exotic, he said, as if he were questioning, raising an eyebrow with a wicked grin. You know, that might work. What would I do without you, Lucas? Thank you. That's the end. We'll see if it works.